always wanted to do this video ever since I think Sarah Caroli was the first person that did this. Ever since it became a thing, I've always wanted to try it, but I've been nervous. I actually just finished a video where I redid my bookshelves. That video should already be up, but I took 2 days doing that and I feel like I haven't read very much, so I'm ready to get back into it. And I'm also reading a book right now that I'm not totally loving, so I feel like I need the push. Oh, I haven't even explained what the video is. I'm assuming that you saw the title and you know what we're doing. This one's kind of hard to explain. Every time that you pick up your phone, it's recorded, at least if you have an iPhone, so you can look back through your screen time and see how many times each day that you picked it up. So for the next week, I will be reading as many pages as I had phone pickups the previous week. I don't feel like I did a good job explaining that, so hopefully this will make sense. So if you go into your screen time, it will show you how many pickups you had. Today's Tuesday, so I'm gonna look at last week's Tuesday, and I picked up my phone 85 times, so I have to read 85 pages. Honestly, I feel like that's pretty low, and it's probably gonna get higher throughout the week. Recently, I did the challenge where I tried to read 100 pages a day, and I did not succeed every day. So the fact that today is under 100 is making me feel good. It's almost 7 p.m., and I still have a lot of stuff I need to do to get ready for work tomorrow, so I don't have the most amount of time left, but I did read earlier today. The book that I'm currently reading is The Hobbit, and I am sad that I'm not enjoying this more. This was definitely a priority read for me in 2024. I am on page 188 out of like 300, so almost 2/3 in, and I just feel like this is so slow. I don't think I've seen the movie. If I have, I don't remember any of it, but I just expected this to have more stuff going on. If you don't know, this is about Bilbo Baggins, our main character. He is on a little adventure with like 13 or 14 dwarves. They're basically going cross country to get to this mountain where there is a dragon inside that is hoarding all sorts of treasure and gold and jewels and stuff that it stole from one of the dwarves' families a long time ago. So the entire thing has essentially been them just traveling, and it hasn't been very eventful. A few things have happened, but it's starting to just feel repetitive, and I'm just not loving it. I was excited for this and I had high hopes because I know that this is a lot of people's favorite book of all time. And I think a lot of that is probably just because of the writing style and because it's very whimsical. People just love whatever universe that The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings take place in. But for me, this has been a little boring to get through. I started today on page 172. Oh, that means I've only read 16 pages today. I thought I had read more. Honestly, almost every time I pick up this book, I just want to get to the end of the chapter so I can pick up my phone or do something else. And usually I don't even make it to the end of the chapter. So 85 minus 16 is 69. That is the amount of pages that I have to read tonight. If you've been here before, then you've probably seen plenty of clips of me falling asleep in this chair. I'm determined to not let that happen tonight, and I have to take a break to cook in a little bit anyways, so hopefully I can stay awake and crush this page goal. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm only 2 pages in, but I'm finding myself skimming. I just had to go back and reread something because I totally wasn't paying attention. I feel like this is just an obvious sign that I don't love a book when I'm just skimming over it and trying to get to the end. The idea of reading 100 more pages of this is not appealing. Hi, I just scrolled on my phone for an hour. I have only read 14 pages. I just can't with this book. Part of me wants to DNF it, but it was one of my 24 books to read in 2024. I don't feel like I can do that. I'm gonna go cook and try and get myself to read while I cook and leave my phone in here so I can't touch it. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning now. I'm about to head into work. Just wanted to give an update that I somehow did meet my 85 pages last night, and I have 90 pages today, so of course I brought my Hobbit. What? No, I brought my book, The Hobbit, to work. I always bring a book to work. Do I always read it? No. But hopefully I can get some pages in today because 90 pages? I don't know. But I should be finishing The Hobbit and then moving on to something else today, and I'm very excited to be done with it. I'm back from work. It is almost 5 o'clock now, and I am sad to report that I did not read anything at work, which means I still have about 50 pages of The Hobbit left, and then after that I have to start a new book and read 40 pages of that. It's pretty much 5 o'clock. I do need to go to the store and I need to cook and meal prep for the next couple of days. I'm literally thinking through everything that I have to do and that's gonna happen today and how I'm gonna squeeze in 90 pages. I think what I wanna do is sit down right now, knock out The Hobbit, and then when I finish this, I'll go to the store, come back, and start my new book. If you've watched any of my videos, then you might know that I am a pretty slow reader, and with work and everything, it can be pretty hard to get a significant chunk of reading done in one day. And I would say 90 pages is a significant chunk, so I'm a little bit worried about it, but but we'll see how it goes. But I will say that I am enjoying this a lot more than I was at the start of yesterday. I mean, a lot more is a stretch, but I am enjoying it and not dreading reading it now. The whole first 200 pages are just Bilbo and the group of 13, 14 dwarves traveling to get to this mountain where there's the dragon. That was pretty slow and repetitive to me. But last night I finally got to the part where they're at the mountain, they're here with the dragon, and I feel like that's the exciting part. That's what we've been leading up to. So I'd say the second half of what I read last night was a lot better, and I'm hoping that the rest of this is pretty fun. I want to see how long it takes me to finish this. The last clip that you should have seen was me getting into The Hobbit to read my last 50 pages, and things didn't go as planned. If you've seen literally any of my other reading vlogs, then this might not come as a shock, but I fell asleep. It was actually kind of bad this time. I think it was just after 5, I sat down, I started reading, I filmed that first clip, and then I turned the camera off, and then I fell asleep. I was in and out of sleep for 2.5 to 3 hours. I finally woke up right before 8 o'clock, and I was like, what am I doing? I think I had gotten 5 pages in, but like I wasn't even really reading it. I was half reading it, half asleep. So I got up, I went to the store, and I finished this on audiobook while I was cooking. I honestly just wanted to get this over with, and I knew there was no way I was gonna finish this and then start a new book tonight if I didn't listen to the audiobook. So I'm glad I just got it over with. I'm really disappointed with this. I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. It just was so slow and boring to me. I know I said that things were picking up, but they only picked up for like 10-15 pages, and then that conflict was kind of resolved and it went back to being boring. I just didn't really enjoy it, and honestly, I don't really know what I listened to. I was paying attention, but I wasn't totally absorbing it. Like, I just didn't care anymore. I didn't necessarily think I was going to love this, but it's so many people's favorite book that I thought I have to at least like it. Maybe I'll love it, but that is just not how it went. So I am officially done with The Hobbit, and I just can't explain how happy I am to be done. I am definitely counting the 50 pages that I listened to as part of my 90-page count goal for today, which leaves me with 40 pages left for tonight. I'm pretty scared about that. It's already 10:30, and even though I took a pretty long nap earlier, that doesn't matter. That won't keep me awake. I already feel pretty sleepy. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm excited to pick out my next book. Out of the books that are on my January TBR, these are the 2 that I'm feeling the most. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. If you are on Book Talk or BookTube, then you've definitely heard of this book. It's a sci-fi about people in space. I don't really know anything else. I don't want to know anything else, but it is supposed to be amazing. And honestly, I don't think I will start this one tonight because I just don't think that I want to go into this yet. Even though this is the book on my TBR that I'm most excited to start, I'm not going to do it tonight because I feel like The Hobbit might have put me in a bit of a book slump, and I don't want to go into this after that. I want to give this book my full attention and go into it when I'm ready for it because I have such high hopes for it. And I think I will love it, but going into it right now when I'm already feeling kind of slumpy just doesn't seem like a good idea. So I guess that means we'll be starting this one tonight, which is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series, which is part of the Shadow Hunters realm, which is like a 10 or 15 book multi-series connected thing. It's a young adult fantasy, and I actually read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments when I was, I think, in middle school. I remember very little of what happened, but I do know that I loved these books, and so many people, like my best friend Mick, love this book. No, not this book, the whole Shadowhunters universe. Even though this looks pretty chunky, I think it's going to be pretty easy to get into, especially because it's young adult. I mean, I read it in middle school, so if middle school me can do it, then I can do it, even if I'm feeling kind of slumpy. And I feel like this book will start off kind of fast, which is good because my issue with The Hobbit was that it was just so slow and nothing was going on, so I need a more plot-driven book. This is unlike any other fantasy that I think I've read because this is an urban fantasy that takes place in New York City. Shadowhunters are people who hunt demons and werewolves and vampires, that sort of like mythological creature thing. Only Shadowhunters can see demons, and somehow our main character Clary, she's at a nightclub and she sees this whole thing go down between Shadowhunters and a demon. And then I think the demons kind of go after her, something like that, and she's like, I'm a human, what's going on? I don't understand this. That's all that I really remember other than the plot twist that happens at the end of this first book. If you know, you know, and I feel like knowing that it is going to be really interesting to reread this, knowing what I know. Anyways, this update is too long already. I have a lot to read and I need to get started. So I will catch up with you once I finish my 40 pages, hopefully. Hi, just me checking in to let you know that I am loving this. This is exactly what I needed. It is just refreshing after The Hobbit. I'm only about 30 pages in, so I still have at least 10 pages to read tonight. If I could, I would try and stay up a lot later and read as much of this as I can. But knowing myself, I know that's just not possible. But this is just so good. We are already setting up the plot. There's stuff happening. It is fun. It's enjoyable. It is the opposite of The Hobbit, where I just felt like it was dragging on and nothing was happening. So I'm so glad I picked this. I'm really loving it. And we'll see how much more I can read tonight. But it better be at least 10 more pages to get us to our 90. Day 3 and I have some good updates for you. I know last night I was saying that I was really loving City of Bones and that I was glad I picked it. I just got home from work and I got to read a lot while I was there. It was just a really slow day, and then I also read during all of my lunch. I'm really happy because today I have a lot more pages that I need to read compared to yesterday. Last Thursday I picked up my phone 148 times, so that's how many pages I need to read. Let me show you my progress. Side note, one of my coworkers brought me this book today. That was so sweet of her. We were talking about books last week and she was telling me this is her favorite and she had an extra copy of it. So that was a first for me, leaving work with a new book. But back to City of Bones. I really love, if I'm doing a challenge like this, I love to put these little markers that tell me where I started and where I have to end. It's just nice to visualize and also see how much progress I've made each day. Last night I got to page 49, which if you combine with the 50 pages of The Hobbit, that's 99. And my goal was 90. Today, like I said, I have to do 143. Whatever number I just said. So I have to get to page 197. So it's a pretty decent chunk that I had to get through. And I'm currently on page 124. So I read 75 pages while I was at work, which is crazy. I still have 72 pages left to read tonight and I'm a little intimidated, but this book is just so fast paced. Like I said, the font is pretty big and I'm just enjoying reading it. Like I don't want to put it down. So I don't think I'll have a problem with it. I'm so glad that I picked this up and I think I'm definitely going to need to buy the second and third book so that I can read them pretty soon after this. I just wanted to give you an update, let you know my page goal for today and what my progress is so far. I'm gonna go change into my big comfy hoodie and see how much I can get done. Clary and Jace, our two main characters, are saying some things to each other that just makes a lot of sense and is funny reading it, knowing what I know. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. I am useless. I fell asleep. I only got to page 144 and I fell asleep. I don't know how long I've been asleep, but I would say at least an hour. I am so jealous of all of you who aren't like this. Everyone who's normal, probably. There must be something wrong with me. But it's now 7 o'clock. I now have about 55 pages left, so got a good chunk left to do. Oh my gosh. I don't know that I can sit here without falling asleep again. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna set a timer for like 20 minutes. I'm gonna try and read. If I fall asleep before that 20 minutes is up, I am hopefully gonna get myself up, walk around, do something, I don't know. Okay, these camera angles are gonna be all over the place. Sorry if that's annoying. I finished my page count for today. I got to page 198. I actually really want to keep reading, but then I got on TikTok for about 5 minutes. Like the only time I've opened it all day today. I have had no urge because all I wanted to do is read this book. But I follow this girl, Brandy. Her is @brandos.books. And she reads and crochets and she is making a, what did she call it? A star rating blanket. So there's this thing called a temperature blanket where people will crochet or knit a line for every day of the year, and each line or row is a different color depending on what the temperature was. So she basically took that, but instead she's going to do one row for every book that she reads, and she's going to give them each a different color based on what star she rated them. And I do like to crochet. I haven't done it in a long time. I love the idea so much that now I want to start one. So I think I'm gonna finish my chapter and then I'm gonna go pick out yarn and probably start one of those tonight. I still need to eat and stuff. I'm really hungry and it's 9 o'clock, but I just haven't wanted to get off the couch. But I will finish my book, go eat, and then I'll start my blanket. And that means I probably won't read much more of this, if anything, but we'll just see how the night goes. Hi from day 4 of this challenge. It is 4:15. I just got done with work and I'm here for my first update of the day. Today is my highest amount of pages. I picked up my phone 155 times last Friday, which is insane. So that's how many pages that I have to read. I ended last night on page 222, so I have to get to page 377. So a good little chunk of pages to read. I'm currently on page 260. So I've read a little under 40 pages today so far, and I have 117 left. So I'm a little intimidated because yesterday I had a lot of pages, but I had already done at least, I think, 80 during work. So I don't have quite the head start today. And I have a couple things I wanted to do. Oh, before I go any longer, let's just ignore my hair because I tried something new and it did not work out. It's not looking cute, so just don't look at it. But anyways, I want to go to Marshall's. No, not Marshall's. I want to go to Michael's, like I said last night, to get yarn for my new blanket. And I have a couple of returns from Amazon that I need to go drop off. We're supposed to get hit by this big winter storm, and I've heard conflicting things. Some people say it's going to start tomorrow, and then some people say it won't start till Monday. But for sure, Monday and Tuesday are going to be in the 20s, which doesn't happen here very often. And everybody's worried about the weather, and the roads are probably going to ice and everything. So I think that getting the stuff for my blanket is very important today because I'm gonna need stuff to do if I'm gonna be kind of stuck in the house. And just in case tomorrow is like really bad, really cold, I wanna go and do this stuff today while it's not too bad. So we have returns to do, yarn to go buy, and 117 pages to read today. That's a lot to do. Let's see if I can do it without falling asleep today. We are already off to not the best start today. I did go to Michael's. I got this gigantic bag of yarn, and I have spent the last hour, probably hour and a half, just sitting on my phone. Just on my phone, scrolling through TikTok, which I'm not supposed to be doing today because I have so much to read. I was happy to see that they had the audiobook on Spotify. I don't actually like the narrator. I just don't like the voices that she does, at least for Jace. I haven't heard anybody else besides Jace and Clary, but it's still an audiobook, which I love, and getting to listen to it while I'm driving is awesome. So I haven't read any of the physical books since I got home, but I'm up to page 295. So I still have about 80 pages left, which is scaring me. So I need to go pick up this pizza, hopefully get at least a chapter of the audiobook done. When I get home, I need to eat and really knock out a lot of this book. I'm gonna try not to listen to more of the audiobook while I'm at home, but I guess we'll see what happens. Because I also want to start my blanket tonight, and I could listen to the audiobook while I do that. But since this video is like a reading X amount of pages per day kind of challenge, I feel like doing all audiobook would be not fair. I mean, I have read a lot of physical pages today, but you know what I mean, right? Okay, I'm about to get one big reveal. I wonder if the one that I'm thinking of is gonna happen now, or if that's at the very end. I can't wait to see how they handle this. I don't remember. Oh wait, I'm stupid. This plot twist we just had, if they put 2 and 2 together, they will realize the big plot twist. Oh gosh. Hey there. It's 1:46 a.m. on Saturday, and I don't know when the last time I gave an update or what I talked about, but I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything about finishing City of Bones. So, I want to go through a little debrief. As I said, I started on page 389. So to hit my page goal, I had to get to 479, which was like 6 pages from ending the book, so I just finished it. And overall, I really enjoyed this. I ended up giving it 4 stars because I acknowledge that it's not the best book ever. And it definitely didn't give me anything like 5-star feelings, because sometimes a book can be not the best, like quality wise, or maybe it's too young for me or something, but it just gives me those 5-star feelings and I'll rate it pretty high. I did really love this, but it wasn't quite there. So it's 4 stars, which is still really good. This was just, like I said, it was so fun. It was so fast paced. I feel like the plot never really slowed down the entire time. So like I've said a million times already in this vlog, if you are in a reading slump and you've been thinking about picking up this book, I would suggest that you start this because I really think that this is like the perfect cure for a reading slump. Because it's young adult, the writing is really easy. It's quick to get through. The font is huge. So it's like 500 pages, but it's not really like a 500-page adult book. The story starts off really fast and ever since then, it just does not stop. There are a few things about it that I already mentioned that I didn't love, like it is very, very predictable. I think that's one, because it's YA, so it's meant for a younger audience. And two, like I said, I've already read this in middle school, so it's not really fair for me to say that. I do remember the really big plot twist. Really big. I don't know how big it really is if you're reading it for the first time or if it's obvious, but I did remember it, which like clued me into a lot of the things that are suggesting it, so it made it seem like it was very predictable to me. I'm interested to see when I read the second book what I think, because I don't know if I read the second and third books. I feel like I did, but if I did, I don't remember anything about them. So I really, really loved this and I'm so glad that I picked it up. I was planning on having a super productive day today. I was gonna edit a video, read my pages, start my blanket, do all this stuff. And obviously I finished the book. I did do my blanket. I didn't edit at all. It took me like 3 or 4 hours on the couch to read the last 100 pages of this because I kept falling asleep. I've always thought that maybe I need to participate in a sleep study, and I was talking to my friend about this tonight. Maybe I do because it's getting really annoying at this point. But also, quick little story time. I had the craziest morning at like 10:30 or 11 in the morning. Someone starts knocking on our door. My roommate and I like meet each other and we're like, what was that noise? Was that you? So we go to the door and there's this man. He's standing as far away from the door as possible and he says he's maintenance. He's wearing like a baseball cap and you can't really see him. He's all the way up against the wall and all he said was maintenance. Mind you, it's a Saturday morning and our apartment is super big on like, we will never ever send anybody to your room without letting you know, and we know the one maintenance man and this was not him. So we didn't answer the door. We didn't say anything because we were scared. And then he starts knocking again, but then he'll knock and then he will hide like away from the peephole. So we're looking and he's gone and we're like, okay, he's gone, maybe he left. And then we hear a knock again and then we go to look and he's gone. And it was like, what is he doing? It was super suspicious, okay? So we call the apartment complex and we're like, hey, this guy says he's maintenance, he's knocking on our door. And they're like, what the heck? It's Saturday. We don't even have maintenance working today. And two, we did not send anybody to your apartment. And they were like, you need to call the police right now. We're headed up there, blah, blah, blah. So the apartment people get up here. They are running around the floor, checking all the staircases. They're like, we can't find him. We don't know where he is. And then after like 20 minutes, this man who I've never seen before comes up and he's like, hey, I found your wallet. We're like, what? And he holds up my roommate's wallet. He's like, I found your wallet. It was in the parking garage. It was me. I came up here earlier. I was trying to give it to you. And we're like, what? The apartment lady like hugged him. She was like, oh my God, we were looking for a bad guy. It was you. And we were like, what the heck? Okay, well, we're stupid. So it was really embarrassing. But then after they left, I was like, wait a minute, this man was acting really suspicious. Why on earth was he doing that? Like I was describing the way that he was knocking on the door and hiding and all that to the apartment lady. And she was like, oh yeah, that's their MO. They're doing that. Like that's how they usually act. He doesn't want you to be able to identify him, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that is suspicious. Turns out he's like the general building maintenance guy, I guess. So he never comes up to people's apartments to do any work, which is why I've never seen him before. He just does stuff like, I guess he was doing work in the parking garage. And I don't know why he didn't just bring her wallet to the front desk and have them call us. He decided to come on up here and all he said was maintenance. I think he heard us whispering, but he never said like, hey, maintenance, I have your wallet. It was just really strange. So anyways, that took probably like an hour and that was after I made my blanket. I was like just sitting down to start reading and that all happened and it kind of threw me off. But after I finished my book and everything, I got ready and my friend and I went and had dinner and then we went to Barnes and got ice cream. So while we were at Barnes, I of course got book 2, which I'm very excited for. I'm not going to read this right now because I have my boyfriend pick out my TBR for January. And when somebody else picks out my TBR, I feel really guilty if I read something that's not on it. So I'm not gonna read this till January, but I'm very excited to have it because I just really feel the need to continue the series. So this has been a very long update, but it's been a long, crazy day. I haven't actually gotten a whole lot of productive things done, but that's okay. It's almost 2 o'clock, so I'm gonna go to bed and tomorrow we will start a new book and we'll see what my page count goal is for the day. It really has been a long day. I am ready for bed. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is day 6. It's Sunday, whatever day that is, and I've made a colossal mistake. I have been in bed editing my bookshelf video since 9:30 in the morning. I took a 45 minute break to have like brunch. I seriously have been editing the entire time. I haven't been on my phone. I don't know why it's taking so long, but it's now 3:30. And I haven't read anything. I don't know why, but I thought I only had to read like 50 pages today. And I checked earlier just to make sure. Tell me why today is my highest day of the week with 195 pages that I have to read. And I haven't started yet. It's already into the afternoon and this is not looking good. After dinner, probably around like 7 or 8, I have stuff I need to do, so I won't be able to read then. So I'm getting nervous that I'm not gonna be able to complete this, but I'm going to give it a try. I haven't finished my video. My goal was to finish it and get it out today, but that's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow and I'm gonna start reading immediately. I brought over the 3 books on my TBR that I'm most interested in. Well, actually, City of Ashes isn't on my monthly TBR, but since I really enjoyed it and I was reading the first book fast, it's an option. I thought of Red Rising because I've heard that this is really fast paced and I need something that's going to keep me engaged and hopefully awake. But honestly, there's a lot of words on these pages and I have heard that this requires a lot of brain power, so it might be the opposite of what I want. Yeah, right now as I'm thinking, this one is going in the no pile, which leaves the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series, The Battle of the Labyrinth. So these are the 2 options I'm looking at. I think I'm gonna do the Percy Jackson. Yeah, because I mean, this is middle grade, so the font is really small. I haven't read this in a long time and it actually is on my TBR for the month, so I do wanna read it. I do remember getting slightly bored reading the first 3 books, but I'm hoping that this one will keep me entertained enough to read 195 pages without falling asleep. If there was ever a day that I need to be able to just sit down and read without falling asleep, today is the day. So I'm just gonna shut up and start this book. If I'm not feeling it and it's going by too slow, then I'm going to switch to the Cassandra Clare book. Wish me luck. I'm not even gonna say it. It's dark outside. It's 6 o'clock. And I am on page 42. Fantastic. I'm so frustrated. Other than the probably 42 minutes it took me to read that. I don't remember what time I sat down here, but the other time, I'm sure you can guess what I've been doing with that time. So I just know there's no way that I'm reading this tonight. I need to get up and I might as well do some laundry and stuff. And I'm gonna see, I know the audiobook's not on Spotify, but I'm gonna see if I can listen to it anywhere else just to get a little bit in. But there's just no way that I'm reading 155 more pages of this tonight, especially since I have plans after dinner and I won't be able to read much. I do have one backup plan, but I don't feel like it really counts for meeting my page count. And that is that I could read a manga. I recently started Spy Family, which is the only manga that I've ever read. And I'm really enjoying it, and those volumes are like about 200 pages each, but it's a manga, so it's mostly pictures and there's like 20 words on the page, so I really would feel like I was cheating if I used that for this, but if I don't, then I'm gonna fail either way. So I might do that just so that I can have something to show for myself today. Okay, I did find a guy who recorded an audiobook version that's on YouTube of the Percy Jackson book. So I'm gonna listen to that right now while I do laundry and stuff. Maybe get a good chunk of it in. And I'll be back when I have something to update you on. just wanted to come on here and give you a quick update. And I mean quick, my SD card has like 2 minutes left on it. Also, I don't know how loud my dryer is, probably really loud. Anyways, I've been painting my nails, doing stuff around the apartment. I just ate, and I've been listening to the audiobook and then also reading when I can. I am currently on chapter 9, page 149. So I've made a lot more progress than I thought I was going to. I'll let you know at the end of the night or tomorrow what I end up getting to, but it's looking like this is possible. I am about to have to stop reading and go do something, but I'm hoping I can do the last 40 or 50 pages before I go to bed. We'll see about that. Alrighty, today is the last day of this challenge and I owe you the results from yesterday. So yesterday I did end up meeting my page count. I got to page 207. My goal was to get to either 180 something or 190 something. So I went just a little bit over. I just finished the chapter that I was in. Today's goal was to read 121 pages. So starting on page 207, I had to get to at least 328 and I just finished the book. The book is 361 pages, so 32 pages over what I needed to read. But I will say that probably 90% of that was listening to the audiobook, which if I haven't said it in this vlog already, I love audiobooks and I think that they definitely count as reading. But for challenges like this where I'm trying to get myself to read X amount of pages in a day, it does feel like I'm cheating. But I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night and I was worried about meeting today's page count for the last day. So I'm glad that it's only 6 o'clock and technically I have met my page count goal. And now I feel like for the rest of the night I can pick up a new book and read as much as I want without the pressure of having to reach a certain amount of pages. My roommate Kat and I are going to cook dinner together and then I'm hoping maybe we'll watch Saltburn. We've been meaning to watch that. So I might not have a whole lot of time to read, we'll just have to see. But I am in the mood to start something new and I think I know what I'm gonna do. Before I do though, I guess I'll give you my quick thoughts on this. If you are not familiar with Percy Jackson, it is a middle grade series, so very young, very easy to read. And I think that they're fun books. For me personally, they're not anything super amazing, and I think that's because I didn't read them as a kid. This was kind of like a lot of people's Harry Potter growing up, like they just loved this series. And I see why, I think it's very fun, but I don't know what it was about this one. I just couldn't quite get into this. I think it probably is because I took such a long break between reading the first 3 and this one. So some of the characters and stuff, I just didn't really remember what was going on. And I think that's why I was leaning towards the audiobook, because I didn't really care about it as much and I just wanted to kind of get through it. Not that I wasn't enjoying myself, I don't know if I had the attention span to actually be sitting here reading the pages for this entire book. There is one more book after this one, so I feel like I should read it soon just to finish out the series, and I don't want to do the same thing I did before and have a super long break in between. So Percy Jackson, The Battle of the Labyrinth is done. Like I said, I think I know what I want to do next. Let me go grab it. I think that I am finally ready to start Red Rising. I've only heard amazing things about this and it seems like a series where you get really attached to the characters and it's really emotional and good and heartbreaking. I've heard that Pierce Brown is just ruthless and I've just been wanting to read this for a really long time. I've been kind of putting it off because one, I hear that it takes a lot of brain power to get into it. It's not like an easy fantasy or something where you don't really have to pay attention or be trying to learn as you go, I guess. Whereas this, I think there's a lot more world building and stuff that you have to actually think about. At least that's what I've heard. But now I have no more pressure. Today's the last day of the challenge, but technically I'm done. But since I'm filming, I might as well just see how many pages of this that I can get done. So yeah, I am gonna go start this and I'm very excited.